You know that feeling right, when you hear about someone just pushing past what seems possible, achieving something really extraordinary.
Yeah, it's always inspiring.
Well, today we're kind of digging into one of those stories. We're going to explore how this Guinness World Record holder actually credits specific wellness products for his incredible success.
Okay.
So, our mission really is just to understand this connection. We're looking at an article featuring the man himself, Anup Debnath, and also information about the products from the company, QNET.
Right. Anup Debnath, he's 51, a wellness enthusiast, and he managed this Guinness World Record for 20, get this, 20 consecutive back handsprings.
Wow. 20.
20. You really have to appreciate how incredibly demanding that is physically. I mean, especially at 51, it's just an amazing display of athleticism.
It really is. And what makes it super interesting for our deep dive today is that Anup Debnath points directly to specific QNET Amezcua wellness products as part of the reason he could do it.
Okay, so he made that link himself.
Yeah, explicitly. So let's start there. What did Anup actually say about pulling this off?
Well, in his own words, Anup said achieving this, especially at his age, takes intense dedication, a consistent fitness regimen, and harmony of mind, body, and spirit. So he's definitely highlighting a whole holistic approach.
Right, not just the physical grind. And within that whole approach, he specifically calls out the Amezcua Pendant 4. It uses something called Amezcua resonance technology.
Uh-huh.
And he says he's relied on it for the last couple of years to help him feel centered and energized. That seems like a pretty direct statement.
It does. And it wasn't just the pendant. His use of their products seems broader. He also talks about the Amezcua BioDisc 3.
Okay, what's that one for?
He uses that to energize his food and structure his drinking water. He believes it contributes to his overall mental and physical balance.
Huh. Interesting. So a few different tools in his kit, it sounds like.
Definitely. He also mentions the Amezcua BioLite 3. That one he found useful for recovery.
Recovery. Makes sense.
Yeah, specifically for like easing pain and discomfort after those really intense training sessions. You can just imagine the toll 20 back handsprings takes on the body.
Oh, absolutely. Intense.
And Anup wraps it up saying that these products, in his experience anyway, enhance my overall well-being and empower me to push my limits. So he really seems to feel they were significant for him for this record.
Which, well, it naturally leads us to QNET's side of things, right?
Yeah.
The company behind Amezcua, their chief marketing officer, Trevor Kuna, seemed pretty pleased.
Yeah, understandably. Kuna said, Anup's achievement is extraordinary, and we are incredibly proud to have played a part in his journey. You can tell they see his success as a big validation.
And what about QNET's mission? Did Kuna talk about that?
He did. He framed it as helping people achieve balance and wellness in every aspect of their lives. And he specifically mentioned how Anup's belief in the Amezcua products really lines up with that core goal.
Okay. So connecting the individual success back to the company's broader aims.
Exactly. Kuna also called Anup's story a testament to discipline, resilience, and holistic well-being. It's interesting that word holistic pops up again, just like Anup used.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's also something else important here, based on the info we have. QNET makes point of saying this success story validates QNET's position as a legitimate direct selling company focused on enhancing lives through quality wellness products and business opportunities.
Right. That's a key piece of context from the source material.
And just to be clear, the information provided does state explicitly that QNET is presented as a legitimate business, differentiating itself from scams or pyramid schemes.
Yes. That's clearly stated in the source we looked at. It's important background as we sort of pivot to the products themselves. So with that understanding, let's take a closer look at this Amezcua wellness technology stuff. What is it supposed to be?
Well, the description positions the Amezcua line as kind of bridging traditional wellness principles and cutting-edge technology, designed for modern life, basically.
Okay. And the claimed benefits?
QNET attributes a few things to them, like neutralizing electromagnetic stress, from devices, and generally boosting vitality.
All right, let's start with the Amezcua Pendant 4 then. That's the one Anup felt kept him centered and energized. How's it described?
QNET talks about it as mixing aesthetic design with these energy balancing capabilities.
And what's in it, supposedly?
Okay, this is interesting. They mentioned three main things. Some kind of proprietary technology, they don't detail much. The flower of life pattern.
Ah, the geometric pattern. Seen that before.
Yeah, often linked with harmony, right?
Yeah.
And then there's an octagonal structure made from a copper alloy.
Okay, proprietary tech, flower of life, copper structure. How do they say these work?
So QNET claims the Amezcua resonance technology system inside the pendant works to restore the body's natural energy equilibrium. That's the core idea.
And the flower of life pattern.
According to them, it's meant to create sort of beneficial frequency interactions with your energy field. The how isn't really spelled out, though.
Right, and the copper structure.
That one, they say, uses principles from quantum physics again, not specified which ones to help maintain what they call biofield balance, and also offer some protection against electromagnetic fields, or EMFs.
Okay. Moving on to the Amezcua Biodisc 3, the one for food and water.
Right. QNET calls this a scientifically validated device. They say it uses sophisticated wave patterns.
And the main purpose is?
Primarily, they claim it restructures water molecules. The idea is to make them easier for cells to absorb. But they also suggest it has wider wellness benefits.
Such as?
Things like improved nutrient absorption, better cellular health, and helping the body's natural detox processes. They even mention it might help keep produce fresh longer and convert harmful radiation somehow.
Quite a range of claims there.
Hmm.
Okay, and the last one, Anup used the BioLite 3 for recovery.
Yeah, this one uses light, specifically a whole spectrum of different therapeutic light frequencies. It's actually quite complex looking at the description.
Different colors doing different things.
Exactly. According to QNET, red light is supposedly for hormonal balance and cell regeneration. Green light is linked to the immune system and detox. Blue light is for reducing inflammation and helping with sleep patterns. Then there's white light, which they say purifies energy in living spaces. And finally, the infrared spectrum is claimed to improve circulation, speed up wound healing, and help tissue regeneration.
Wow, that's a lot of different functions assigned to different lights.
It is. And again, just to reiterate, based on our sources, we're focusing here on Anup Debnath's personal experience, right?
Yeah.
His belief in how these products helped him achieve his goal. We're not attempting to, independently verify QNET's scientific claims about how they work.
Precisely. That's not the scope here. And, to add a bit more context to how these products are perceived, the sources also mention testimonials from other users around the world. They're presented as sort of supporting evidence for the legitimate impact of the Amezcua line.
Okay, worth looking at those too. Any specific examples?
Yeah, a few. There's a V partner, Adli Hassan, who reports feeling more energetic while traveling when using the Chi Pendant 4. Kind of echoes Anup's feeling of being energized, actually.
Interesting parallel. Who else?
Win Prakuzia, she's a former WTA tennis player. She apparently found that using water structured with the Biodisc 3 helped with her child's allergies. So totally different kind of reported benefit there.
Right, allergies. Okay.
Then there's Zarkova Svetlana Genadievna. She shared that she stopped needing headache medication after using the Chi Pendant 4.
Wow, okay. That sounds significant for her.
Yeah, and she also mentioned letting her kids use it now for biofield balance and EMF protection, reflecting those claims we talked about.
Got it. Any others?
One more stands out, VP Kalyarasi Manikam. He talks about a really impressive recovery from a joint injury. He credits the Amezcua BioLite 3, along with his trainers, of course, for recovering in under 45 days. He specifically contrasted this with what doctors apparently expected, which was more like long-term management.
Huh. So quite varied experiences people are attributing to these different products. It definitely paints a picture.
It does. And it brings us right back around to Anup Debnath's story, which is just fascinating on its own. I mean, achieving that Guinness World Record, 20 consecutive back handsprings at 51, it's genuinely impressive.
Undeniably. And the way he connects it to these specific products, the Chi Pendant 4 for energy and focus, the Biodisc 3 for that sense of balance, and the BioLite 3 for helping him recover. Well, based on his own account, they seem to have been a really integrated part of his preparation and well-being.
Yeah, according to him, they were key.
So this deep dive really was about looking at those claims straight from the record holder and also understanding the information we have about the technology behind the products he felt made a difference. It's certainly a compelling mix of incredible personal achievement and these particular wellness tools.
Absolutely. Which maybe leads us to a final thought to leave people with. When you consider Anup Debnath's story, what does it suggest about how people might be, exploring and using different wellness technologies to chase peak performance or really ambitious personal goals? And maybe what other surprising ways might individuals be trying to achieve things that, that seem almost impossible on the surface?